When I was in year 8, I cried for 10 minutes straight in the girls' washroom over a 24 out of 30 in my UAE social studies exam. That day, I found out that I had caught something. Not a cold, not a flu, but something that would be much more difficult to treat. The fear of not being good enough. It started with a small cough of doubt, then soon transpired into me feeling like my whole body was infected with a fever of anxiety. Soon, every grade became a diagnosis, and I felt as though my grades determined my worth. Unfortunately, I'm not alone in feeling this way. A 2023 survey in the US found that nearly 40% of high school students felt persistently sad or hopeless. That's almost half of a classroom. Even in our own region, a UAE study showed that 20% of adolescents had high stress levels, and 76% lived under moderate levels of stress. So how did we get here? First of all, students feel the pressure to perform. This can arise from the expectations held by their parents, teachers, or even themselves. This fuels anxiety, imposter syndrome, and chronic stress. It's not just, I failed a test, it's, I am a failure. Number 2, comparison and competition. Social pressures and the fear of not fitting in can further add on to stress, as students may often compare themselves with their peers who are better than them academically. Number 3, sleep deprivation and burnout. Late night study sessions, early classes, and endless amounts of homework, it all adds up. Lack of sleep disrupts focus, increases irritability, and worsens anxiety and depression symptoms. When exhaustion becomes normal, so does burnout. Many students, even of my age, find this struggle of sleep deprivation to be so normalized to the point that during exam week, we compare who got less sleep as though it's a competition. Let me act out the scenario. This will be student A, and this will be student B. Oh man, I am so tired. I got like 5 hours of sleep last night. Man. Come on, bro, you think that's bad? I was doom scrolling until 3 a.m. last night. I got a singular hour of sleep. Congrats. So it's as if like students, it's as if we feel like they deserve some kind of medal, as if it's a competition of who got less sleep. It's also important to note that whether you're an A+ student or a class clown, any student can go through this struggle, even multiple times. That's why it's so important that we check in, not just on our struggling friends, but on our strong ones too. Because you never really know who's fighting a silent battle just to stay afloat. So, with that being said, what are the solutions? How can we resolve this? Well, research has consistently shown that mental health is a crucial predictor of our academic performances. A study published in the Journal of Psychiatric Research found that students with a positive mental health are more likely to achieve higher grades and enjoy the learning process. Here are some solutions that we can collectively achieve, okay? First of all, shift the focus from grades to growth. When schools and students start valuing progress over perfection, pressure decreases. Work your assignments one question at a time and learn to love the process of learning because you have a long way to go. Second of all, build mental health literacy into schools. If teachers were to help students from a young age with their mental health and normalize the behavior, then students could grow up being able to deal with it themselves with significantly more ease and be able to open up to everybody without feeling judged. And lastly, make sure that you speak up to somebody, because mental health, regardless of how bad it gets, should simply never be hidden. Open up to whoever you can. And I really speak this with emphasis because I was terrible at this when I was younger. I didn't know how to even deal with the emotions myself. I would bottle them up, not telling anybody, isolating my own problems. And whenever they would overflow, I would feel that I'm just weak and brush it off. Then one day, I decided to open up to a friend. I don't know why, I just really felt like saying something for once. And I was so overwhelmed by her support. She immediately supported me and told me that she had felt the same way. And that made me feel so seen and heard. And that's really, really important. So make sure you open up to somebody about this. So, here's to all of us, the students, the strugglers, the late night crammers, the perfectionists trying to make peace with imperfection. Let's start passing the only test that really matters. The one test that no one grades. The test that measures how gently we treat our own minds. Because that's the only test that really matters. Thank you.